Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Julia Rose. I'm a psychic medium and Kundalini Reiki master teacher. I pray this finds you at the precise time you need it. As always, take what resonates with you and leave the rest for everyone else. So today my spirit guides want me to get right into the message. And we're going to start by talking about the X-class solar flare that came in a couple of days ago that actually landed here on, I want to say that was Thursday-ish, give or take. These energy waves, Cynthia, hello. These energy waves typically take about 4 or 5 days in their approach. You sensitive folks will begin to feel their impending arrival. And the last of it really landed here last night, roughly. And for context, I'm recording this on Saturday. This is Saturday morning live. I said what I said. So Friday night, last night, the last of that X-class solar flare really hit. And this was the largest one ever recorded. And you can expect the exhaustion, the headaches, the increased thirst, the changes in appetite, digestion, sleeping, all the usual stuff that you would expect when you are dealing with solar flares and other sorts of heavy waves of light codes coming into the earth. You'd expect that to be about 7 days, about 7 more days of integrating those energies. So keep an open mind as you're moving forward, that the next, so that's probably going to bring us to next Thursday, the new moon. You guys have got to be kidding me. It's bringing us to the new moon on November 20th. So, goodness gracious. So, not that it's actually going to chill, because the new moon's energies, have been pretty intense the last month or so. They're usually pretty intense, but since October, they've really been spanning, at least I've noticed in my life, they've really been spanning a full week of energy of the approach of the moon. And so it's been a really interesting dynamic to see, okay, well, how is all this playing out with other things, So this particular message, this Saturday morning live, I wanted to bring through messages from your guardian angels. You probably have been seeing 444 a lot. A lot. So this is an indication of your guides helping you focus on your stability, helping you focus on your grounding at this time, because this is what's going to help you relax and integrate all of the energy that is swirling over and through the earth at this time. Okay, Spirit, can we have that blow in a different direction or help me with a different placement? Okay. Thank you. So just keep that in mind. Like, you're probably going to start to feel really overwhelmed and anxious. Like, you're not doing a lot, but you're also doing a lot. Like, you don't know what to do. Even if you're normally a more grounded person, just remember that it's okay to be taking extra time right now to rest and decompress. Some of you might be picking up old practices that you used to have that really assisted in your grounding. Like, you might be returning to yoga or yoga nidra or restorative yoga, these kinds of things, just to help you get back in touch with that sense of ease and helping you create space. Because actually, there's a lot of psychic activation coming in with these light codes for you. A lot of psychic activation. Like, you're going to be getting crazy downloads. If you're coming in, just say hello. because I love to say hello back. Okay. So diving into the angel number 444, it really means that you are surrounded by your spirit guides. You're surrounded by grounding energies. You're surrounded by your angels, and they're all reminding you that you are protected. Welcome. You are protected. You are secure. I feel like that's a really huge theme with all of this energy that's coming in to shake things up. I mean, if you want to think about it too, like there are access codes for what you're going to help create in the new reality that you're stepping into. Mel, Zach, Jay Cruz, welcome in. Yeah, okay, that's beautiful. And they're wanting you, be the dog spirit come out saying, be loyal to what you love. Number 19, this is also the sun. So again, that makes me feel like with all this crown energy here that's activated, it makes me feel like you're going to be getting some downloads around what it is you want to be focusing on moving forward. You're going to be getting downloads on what you're going to be building long term. I feel like I was just talking about this a little bit. If you haven't checked out the Patreon video that I did yesterday, it was pick a card. Definitely go check that out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, interesting. That song's been coming through for a minute, Spirit. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. We had be loyal to what you love. Number 48 with the porcupine spirit. Time for a beginner mind. Shadana Jean, welcome. Time for a beginner mind. Because it feels like sometimes you feel like you don't have options because you feel like you've done everything. But that's an indication that you're ready to pivot, that you're ready to turn things around and start to look at things with fresh eyes. And collectively speaking, that's what's coming in really heavily with all of these light codes. So the more time you take to rest, oh, thank you, Spirit. The more time you take to rest and really open up space internally, you're going to create more room for these connections to happen in your mind and body, but also so that this space is created where your spirit guides can bring through messages for you of maybe things it's time to heal, things it's time to walk away from. Maybe it's things that you're ready to start being more serious about. The 444 energy is also a very serious energy. I would say probably more so than the sevens, but that's just my opinion. We have the wolf spirit saying, turn knowledge into wisdom. Turn knowledge into wisdom. Number 67. And number 42, the otter spirit, you are never alone. That's another reminder of the fours. We have 42 here. You're not alone. When your spirit guides are sending you that number, they're telling you that, yes, things are looking like they're changing a lot. You might feel a little unsteady. You might feel like, what the heck is going on with this, that, or the other situation? But they're sending you 444 to say, hey, you're safe, but also we're here helping keep you safe. We're helping keep you grounded. I want to come back to those last couple of cards in a minute, but I feel like there's some messages for you from the tarot. What do you need to know right now? Okay. I feel like it's time for you to start looking ahead. They're saying, look ahead, look ahead. And it feels like this is This is related to all these insights that are coming through for you around the things that you are going to be doing moving forward. Like, like a timeline jump, I was hearing. You might be quantum leaping soon, especially if you're seeing 369 or 1248. Yeah. Ooh. I was like, I feel like the tarot wants to be helpful. Or are you kidding me? Wow. Whew. Death and strength. Death and strength. It's time that you start building your reality, seeing yourself from the highest light possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Knight of Wands. I like these cards because I can just tilt them and then you'll see them perfectly. Death, strength, and Knight of Wands. So, okay, there's a lot of contrast here. It feels like this energy of rest that you're being called to is, you're feeling drained, you're feeling depleted, you're feeling annoyed and aggravated that you're like, why does everything feel so hard right now? Well, let me remind you again, Sean, welcome in. Let me remind you that it's the solar flare that came in, plus those energies early next week are going to start mixing with the new moon. So you're going to feel like it's kind of blanketing over you. Take it easy. All of this is helping to shed from you what you don't need anymore. Things that blocked your confidence, things that blocked your ability to see yourself in a higher light, things that blocked your creativity and your intuition, things that, like, I'm seeing there's bridges that you're making right now between your identity and the things that you've been wanting to do. So some of these bridges didn't exist. So there were certain habits or certain things that you wanted to create that you weren't like in an energy. Hold on. I feel like you are trying to start things and get a head start on things that you didn't have the identities to support yet. And so now that you're starting to get right within how you see yourself, it's going to actually open the road and open the doors for you to step into these things that you've been trying to create. But it had to come from you seeing yourself differently. It had from, yeah, exactly. Squirrel Spirit says, believe in yourself. Can't even make that up. 57. Marcy, welcome. Okay. Yeah, you have some downloads that want to come in. Page of Swords and the High Priestess. Okay, I had a feeling we were going to pivot in that direction, Spirit, but just let me finish this first. Oh, Krishna. Sean, I'm so sorry. Shadana, I'm so sorry. Well, Lola came to give a little love. Hi, Lola. Bye, Lola. Okay. So I was picking up on, it feels so generic to say a third party situation, but there's this energy here of like, I don't want to say, it's not quite gossip, but it's just people talking about you. That feels like it's here. And it feels like people are recognizing how much growth you're going through and how much you are different. Yeah, people could be talking about how different you are. And you might be feeling this. You might be called to do some deeper protection work at this time. Yeah. Some people are celebrating you right now. Two of Cups. Yeah. Or they're wanting to celebrate with you. Mm-hmm. Or people are seeing how much you're evolving and how much strength you've developed to get yourself out of this Five of Pentacles energy. And they're like, huh? I feel a little bit of jealousy coming from them. Just because it feels like you're in this energy of like, you know things you shouldn't know. Like, how do you know these things? And that's what people are saying. That's really interesting. Like, how do you know these things? Maybe you've always been kind of privy to people's secrets without even knowing that that's really what you were aware of. You just thought you were like living your life. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're saying that's enough of that. Okay. But I feel like you're stepping into a space of internal sanctuary that you haven't had before because you didn't think that you could. It's really interesting. It's like you're learning to balance your internal and external lives, like the work that you do to connect internally, as well as the action you take physically. It feels like you're balancing these things. And you might have felt like you had to abandon one to have the other. But you're learning that you can integrate them every step of the way. I feel like there's a lot of that's a message that's been coming through a lot too. I've been seeing that from other readers. Like, there's a lot of hidden things coming to light right now. And you're already seeing that in the collective energies, but in your own life too, and in your own subconscious. And these could be things that you weren't ready to see, or things that were divinely timed as to when and how they could come into your awareness. Yep. Certain truths coming to play. Ace of Swords. Mm-hmm. So I feel like for some of you, this is certain realizations around things that have been holding you back that don't need to be holding you back anymore. The snake spirit with number 55 is coming out with time to heal. Time to heal. You're becoming more powerful. Like this high priestess energy just keeps drawing me in. It's like, no, you have hidden things coming to light. No, you know people's secrets. No, your strength is you're gathering strength. Like you're accumulating strength. Yeah, wow. And I just keep feeling like some of you have been feeling really exposed in certain energies or certain realizations, but your guides are bringing you a more grounded approach. That's funny. Okay. Well, that's not funny. I just saw something that they were like, hey, can you read this over here? I feel like what's changing about you so much and what's actually really healing your sense of strength and your sense of belief in yourself is your sense of gratitude for the blessings that you do have, your sense of gratitude for the strength that you've already shown yourself, your sense of gratitude for how you have been showing up for you and how you have things that you can appreciate. Gratitude is really healing a lot of your perspective as you turn closer to the divine, God, whoever you call. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I feel like these energies, these realizations are offering you a way out of this cycle. Yeah. Page of Cups, Five of Swords. You're about to be offered a way out of this cycle of self-sabotage and not trusting people. I don't know if I said that before, but that was a message that was coming through and it's worth reiterating. You have deep wounds in your heart from betrayals and people that you thought you could trust. And these are some of these things that are being brought up for you to heal at this time. And these are some of the more uncomfortable memories and moments of your past where you were feeling betrayed. Hey, welcome in. This sense of mistrust, it's like you didn't know maybe in the past people revealed themselves to be something other than who you thought them to be. And in that sense of betrayal, it really wounded your ability to trust because it feels like these were situations where you really trusted people, but they either took advantage of you or completely disregarded your perspective and your wishes. Like maybe you were dealing with a situation with I feel like up to 5 people here. Yeah, but put it where it fits. You could have had a situation here in your past where there were people that lied to you or lied about you, or you asked for privacy and they didn't honor that. And this kind of the betrayal around your personal ideas or business being exposed when you thought you could trust people involved. This is the kind of thing that's coming up right now. Okay. this kind of wounding of trusting the wrong people. hmm And I feel like you do have an element of grace with this, though. You do have an element of, okay, yeah, well, that was a long time ago, or yeah, well, no one was actually in their right mind. This There's something about this situation that you're forgiving, and in your forgiveness of this, or even this resurgence, it's coming back up to show you where how you being very secretive, you being very closed off, and I almost want to say uncooperative, but not in a mean way, has been stopping you from really connecting with people and really feeling safe developing new connections. Okay, welcome in everyone. So these situations that made you feel like you couldn't trust people, I have to say also that these were situations that took place because your spirit guides needed you to not be around these people. Some of you had certain realizations when you were in the company of people, and you realized that you were operating under a projection the whole time. And I feel like some of these situations of like, they were like buckets of cold water over your head of a reality check, being like, oh crap. Oh crap. These situations of seeing the truth about people where you thought you had already seen the truth, but come to figure out that you believed a lie or a performance. I don't know if these people were all like intentionally manipulative, but I feel like a lot of them were kind of two-faced. I'm going to be real. Yeah. But it's also interesting because like you were surrounded by people that you thought you were a reflection of them. But that's not it at all, which is why spirit had to move you out of these situations in really intense and dramatic ways, because you're different. Y'all, is this making any sense? Like, is this resonating? We had the Eight of Pentacles come out next. All right. We had the Eight of Pentacles come out next, which tells me that like you've been at this grind. You've been at this grind for some time of doing the shadow work, doing the healing, figuring out this, figuring out that. It's just like you were working on one layer of reality. You were working on like the external layer of reality. And now, because you've reached a point where that's not going to cut it in terms of what you're going to manifest moving forward, because you've evolved and you are continuing to evolve as a soul, it's having to be brought to this next layer within you. Okay. So these betrayal wounds are coming up right now to show you how these situations affected the way that you see yourself and affected the way that you trust or honestly don't trust your intuition, your vision, and your ideas. Okay. Like you have been shut down for so long because you haven't wanted to let people in because you thought that it was just like you couldn't go through that again. You just couldn't go through that again. And I hear you. I hear you, because that was soul shattering. Like that really hurt you to realize, like to wake up one day or to be in the middle of a conversation with someone or a few people and just realize in that moment while they're talking that you just were like, you just were not seeing them for who they were at all. Like that is devastating. That is devastating. Okay? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to go through that. So now this is coming through today because it's time for you to understand that this has created a serious distrust of people, a serious distrust of like letting people in again. But you have to understand that you actually have the ability to see this stuff clearly. Okay? You've been working on your intuition. You've been working on your self-love and self-care. You've been working on getting to a point where you can trust your own instincts. So understand the difference between when someone really isn't worthy of your trust now in your life and when you're picking up a similar energy from them, like someone really isn't worthy of your trust, and then someone who maybe just doesn't have a great way of communicating, but their heart's in the right place. Okay? Yeah, like some people some people have been removed from your life for your protection. Okay? And this is a message from your guardian angels today, and I was wondering how they were going to pull this all together, but it seems like it's coming through now. Yeah, this is like you entering a deeper realm, like I was saying before, like coming into the realm of your subconscious a little bit more clearly. The moon, a little bit more clearly to see what is going on. What the heck is going on? Mhm. Okay, we're going to flip this a little bit because for some of you, this is also about not keeping your mouth shut around the things that you know are not right. Okay? Because you thought that your voice was heard and valued in these spaces, and then it turned out there were a lot of betrayals with these people. Now when the time comes, it's hard for you to speak the things that you know you need to say because you don't know how it's going to be received. But you're learning now how to trust that communication that needs to come from you, that needs to come through. Mhm. Like you're starting to trust your own wisdom. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Okay, hold on. I need more go juice. Okay. 7 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles. I love it, Spirit. 7 of Wands. Ooh. Wasn't I talking about the 7s before? I did briefly mention the 7s. Ace of Wands. Dang, we got Ace of Swords here and Ace of Wands in the spread. And the Hangman. Ooh. Okay, file that away. 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles. Ooh. Let's just talk about, sorry, I can't hide my face. I can't filter my face. I am an Aries after all. Okay. 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles. I feel like your breakthrough, you've been putting in the work, but you've still been guarded putting in the work. Okay. So now this season becomes you putting in the work in an open energy, you putting in the work in an open heart, like from an open heart, because that's the difference between feeling like everything is like, oh my God, I have to keep freaking doing this thing versus, man, I'm open and flowing and life just opens and flows with me. Okay. That's intense. That's a harsh it's a harsh message, it feels like, but it's like it's you starting to get into an awareness now of really how much you've been holding back. how much you've been holding back. And it's not like holding back efforting. It's like holding yourself back from your desires, holding yourself back from a perspective of self-worth, holding yourself back in conversations where you want to be expressing your ideas and creating new realities for yourself. Some of you, this is even tied to like, okay, real talk, some of you might literally have never had visions for the future in your life. Like you probably grew up and you were just like, if people would ask you like, what do you want? And you'd just be like, I don't know. Like I can barely think about tomorrow. And it was very easy for you to be in an energy of like living up to everyone else's expectations of you because you didn't know what you wanted. And it wasn't for lack of trying or knowing. It's that you were operating under a lot of energies that were influencing you that weren't really aware of you. Okay. In other words, projections. So you were never really in this energy of like, how am I supposed to dream about the future? And this is what I want to create. This is what I want. It's been, well, this is the next logical thing. This is the next logical thing. This is the next logical thing. It's never been, okay, but what is it that you really want? What is it that you really feel like is going to be the accumulation of everything that you've been learning so far and everything you want to create and how all that fills together? Like you didn't know how to dream for the future. So spirit has been putting you on timeout and rest mode with a hangman to understand. Yeah. And I love that that's the Ace of Swords under that. That's so powerful. That's so powerful. You've been on this journey to get back to who you are, but you didn't know, or maybe you're realizing now that this is completely tied to also what it is you want for your future, but really letting that come from inside you, not outside of you, letting inspiration be a guide, but you ultimately making those decisions for yourself. All of these betrayal wounds, all of this mistrust, all of this harsh energy and these projections that you went through and in the past really made you doubt your voice, doubt your vision even more, when maybe it was that you could feel that you weren't in alignment with certain things, but you didn't know how to step out of other people's energy and into your own sovereignty. So you've been learning all the skills. It's all been paying off. You're frustrated that things haven't been happening faster when you've been feeling closed off. You've been feeling guarded. You've been feeling like God put you in timeout in the corner. Okay. This was not without reason. This was not without reason, because you needed to understand how quickly things are going to happen for you once you open your heart and you're in alignment with what it is you really want. You had to learn a lot along the way. You had to learn a lot along the way before you could step into that energy, because you needed to be sure of yourself again. This rattled any sense. These experiences rattled any sense of you being sure of yourself, and you needed to come back to that. Because when you're the center of your reality, meaning that you're creating your reality, this is you needing to trust yourself before anyone else gets it. When you've really listened to your intuition, has it ever been wrong? You got to leave this job. You got to move to this place. You got to leave that relationship. You've got to go learn that skill. Has it ever really been wrong? You're just learning how to understand the way validation comes through for you. But you've had to slow down to create space so the flow of things could happen without resistance. And it's the lack of resistance that makes things seem to manifest quickly. Not that time moves fast, but it's you surrendering, you moving in the flow, not fighting the way reality is at this time in order to shift it. You surrendering resistance, you releasing resistance that doesn't serve you, is going to help things move really quickly and help them gain traction in your life. Because the resistance is not a place where the things you want can land. It's a repulsion because the tension becomes mirrored tension outside of you. So if you're being called, like I started at the beginning of this message, if you're being called to slow the hell down, if you're being called back to your meditation practices more deeply, back to your Reiki, back to your yoga, back to whatever it is that makes you feel like you are slowing down, completely open, and not overthinking, whatever it is that does that for you, that you are starting to cling to these things for dear life, do more of that, because that is going to help open these doors of opportunity for you in the way that you overanalyzing and being incredibly tense could not. Wow. Because you're healing some of these oldest wounds, 6 of Cups. Some of these oldest wounds. Because that's also like childlike innocence in this card, right? The 6 of Cups. It's like healing back to that sense of trust in the divine. That you don't have to be suspicious of everything and everyone to know that the things that aren't going to resonate with you, you're just going to be like, I don't want to do that. Bye. And that's just it. Or, that doesn't really resonate with me. I'm out. Bye. And things related to your value and your worth aren't negotiable. This is just obvious to you. It's just obvious to you. Actually, I deserve that. Actually, I don't know why you're saying this, but this is what it is. Or, I mean, this even, I feel like this applies to negotiations too for some of you, of like trying to come to an agreement between you and other people around, like, I'm hearing shared services, so maybe that's a business thing. Yeah. Just like you knowing who you are. You starting to know who you are. And not berate yourself the way that these energies did. But really see yourself in a positive light. Is there anything else you need to know? I feel like that's the message. Is there anything else, Spirit, you want to close that with? Yes. Take your time moving through this transition, moving through this process of healing and opening and restoring yourself, because it's going to bring you success. You're going to be successful in this practice, in this process, and in opening up the doors that you want to open. 6 of Wands. I feel like I'm going to leave it there. Okay. So, hold on one sec. So for today's prayer candle, I'm very simply just going to charge this with Reiki for strength and let that be available to you for your prayers. So if you want to go ahead and add anything in the chat or out loud, those prayers will all be heard. Okay. This is a Reiki prayer candle for strength, and I set the intention that if you're open to receiving it for your highest good and harm to none, that this empowers you in spaces where you've been needing some empowerment. And of course, that some of this energy goes to the earth as well. All right. I pray you have a beautiful day, night, evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. And I will see you in the next one, folks. Take care. Brendan says, may everyone have the strength and courage to take anything on. Mel says, praying for those who feel alone without a support system, to feel the love and support of the collective family. Sean prays for strength of mind, body, and spirit. Beautiful. All right, folks. I gotta run. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.